evening and welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Awino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. There's a mistake that Raila Amolo Odinga is doing, and it will really cost him. Of course, we know that it might not cost him. Suppose he goes and becomes the chairman of African Union. So after all, maybe he's saying that I'm going away, so there is nothing. I'm not going to lose anything. But he is really going to lose. Is really going to cause or waste the people that he will be leaving behind. Today, during the signing of the IBC bill, Raila Amolo Odinga was also present, and at the end of it, there is something that Raila Amolo Odinga said, which I want us to listen to, and then we come back so that we can discuss about it.
But I'm happy to confirm that we have had consultations, and after extensive consultations, we have agreed that a dialogue is the way forward out of the crisis that we're having today in our country. We've agreed that we give people an opportunity to be heard, to express themselves, to come out with the grievances which are actually ailing our country today, so that a lasting solution can be found. Because of restrictions of resources or limitation of resources, we've agreed that everybody else will bear the cost of coming to this meeting. But we want it to be a really very engaging conversation on the way forward, so that we deal with fundamental issues that are affecting our society today.
Now, that is Raila Odinga. I have two questions to ask on that statement. Raila Amolo Odinga is saying that after a thorough consultation, the first question, after a thorough consultation with who? The first question is, after a thorough consultation with who? And the second question, after an agreement with who? So that is the question. The first question is, after Raila is talking about after thorough consultation, the first question is now the first question that I'm asking. Raila is talking about after thorough consultation with who? Whom have they agreed with to have a dialogue? And the second question, when was this agreement done? So the first question is, when a consultation is done with who, and when was it done? And then, because according to the Gen Zs are really complaining. They are saying that, and as we know very well, that the Gen Zs say that they don't have a leader. And my point is this dialogue cannot help, because how many dialogues have been there? The people are tired of dialogues. This issue of dialogue, people are tired with the issue of dialogue every now and then. This is the greatest mistake that Raila Amolo Odinga has done. Coming out publicly talking about dialogue, which he has not done with anybody. There is no agreement that, in fact, the Gen Zs cannot accept a dialogue with William Samoei Ruto.
Agombo, what are we bonging with them? Like, on a serious note, what are we bonging with them? You've been bonging. We could do these dialogues, and you know how they end. Kenyans are not ready for that again. Tunasonga to go to 2024. Sisi tumesema as Kenyans. Hakuna leader. Hakuna mambo ya dialogue, because we've been doing this. They know what we want. Jamani, we have aired our issues for over 4 weeks now, over years, like from our ancestors and whatever. So they know what we're like against. So tafadhali, let's not bong again. Let's not bong. Instead, let's see implementation.
Their word is William Ruto must go home together with all the CSS and the PSS and everyone that is in the government, including Rigathi Gachagua. So Raila coming out to say that they are planning to have a dialogue which will consist of almost, I don't know, 200 people, which will be 150, I don't know, young men and 50. Because I heard him talking about saying that this government, in Kenya, we have got 70% are the people that are the age of below 35 years. That is what he said.
You need to move forward. And I want to say that, at this moment in time, my brother, that we require now a wider engagement so that people have an opportunity to vomit all that is there in their chest, in order that we can be able to find a way forward. I therefore want to support the proposal of my brother Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka that we have this conversation. It may not take more than 2 weeks, but it brings all the stakeholders together. Today, our society is fairly stratified. Nearly 70% of our population is below the age of 35, the youth. If you say that between 35 and 18 constitute about 40%, we need that 40% to be present when this dialogue is taking place. And then the rest can fill the rest. And then we just talk about the Kenya we want. The Kenya we want convention. Out of that will come out recommendations that will help us to resolve this issue once and for all. That will be my proposal.
And he was saying that for anything to happen in Kenya, there must be a dialogue. And this dialogue must include the young men. And the young men that are of the larger population, or the larger number, of the higher number, are the ones that are saying that they don't want any dialogue with the government. So my question is, who will this dialogue, who will be engaged in this dialogue? Because these are the kind of people, the people that are supposed to be engaged are the ones that are saying that they don't need any dialogue, they don't want any dialogue. Because suppose dialogue was helping, dialogue could have helped during his time of demonstration. Truth be told, during the time of bipartisan, before they came into this the discussion of bipartisan, the handshake of bipartisan, dialogue could have helped. I want us to take a look, take a look back at what happened during the time of Uhuru Kenyatta. The dialogue helped, but it only helped Raila Odinga through the handshake. He is the only person who benefited. During the time of Kibaki, the dialogue helped, but it only helped Raila Odinga in the issue of Nusumkate. When he was given a half of the government and Kibaki was on in the half of the government. So this issue of dialogue cannot help everybody. And what the Gen Zs are after, the Gen Zs are after what is going to benefit everybody, not that something that is only going to benefit some of the people. And I think, just like I've said, that it is better for Raila Odinga to just go and succeed and become the chairman of African Union. Because if things goes on like this, and he makes a mistake of maybe wanting to vie for the seat coming 2027, he will fail. Because what the Gen Zs are looking at is that anybody that is very much close with William Ruto is going home. So my advice is that Raila Odinga should be very careful with what he says, where he says it, and who he says it to. Because the people that he's saying is trying to convince to have a dialogue are the ones that have said that we don't want any dialogue with anybody. We don't want any dialogue. The only dialogue that we can have is by ourselves. The only dialogue we can have is amongst ourselves, talking about how we can occupy parliament, on how we can send Ruto home. And I think there is a message that Eric Omondi sent yesterday, by the way. Eric Omondi sent a message to the president, telling the president that they are going to sit down on this issue of dialogue, I think. And I think this is now where this issue of dialogue is coming from. Eric Omondi is the one that has started yesterday. Eric Omondi stated very well in this video. Eric Omondi said that, Mr. President, before Thursday, make sure that you send all the PSS home, all the CSS home, because I'll be coming to the State House. In fact, he gave the president even time. He said that I'm coming with the 100 border borders, 100 mamambogas, 100 youths will be accompanying me, wearing white clothes in a symbol of a fresh beginning.
Mr. President, I've been told that you're a very prayerful man. This is the word of the Lord for you. Please fire all cabinet secretaries before Thursday. Please fire all permanent secretaries before Thursday. Please fire all heads of parastatals and other government officials. Mr. President, we are coming to State House on Thursday at 11 a.m. I will be accompanied by 100 women dressed in white, just mama mbogas. I'll be accompanied by 100 men dressed in white, just for the borders. I'll be accompanied by 100 young people dressed in white, just youths. Mr. President, please request and ask the police to put down their guns. Mr. President, we need to talk, not on Twitter, not on TV. Mr. President, see you on Thursday at 11 a.m. at State House. God bless you.
So for that symbol of fresh beginning, what will the president do? Will the president, my question, will the president accept to have a dialogue with somebody like Eric Omondi? Yet we know who Eric Omondi is. Will he accept to have a dialogue with Eric Omondi? That is the question. So it is just taking us back to those words of Raila Odinga. The Gen Zs have said, and I'm saying this here, you'll also bear me witness that the Gen Zs have said that they don't want any dialogue. The Gen Zs do not want any dialogue with anybody. They don't want any dialogue with anybody. So the president is the one that should think of what to do. What the Gen Zs want is to get out of office. Let Raila Odinga stop this nonsense. I think this is the worst statement that Raila Odinga has made. He could have even kept quiet. I don't know what to think concerning this issue of dialogue that Raila Odinga is saying that they have accepted the dialogue and they are going to engage the youths, and the youths themselves have declined, saying that there is no dialogue that they're going to have with the government. I don't know what you think. That is just my thought. I also like to listen to the comment section. And just remember, if you're meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can also like and drop me a comment and tell me where you're watching us from and how these videos are reaching you. And until we meet again, I've been your host, Boniface Owino. Bye-bye.